Hello everybody and welcome back to another walkthrough. Today it's going to be Cicada from HackTheBox, and it is rated an easy machine on Windows. This box is really fun. Cicada takes you through a bunch of SMB enumeration and sort of giving you repetitions with netexec, which I thought was incredibly helpful for someone who's new to Active Directory like myself. So it gives you a bunch of enumerations with SMB, and eventually it leaks credentials, which gives us a shell on the box. And from there, we find out that we have the SeBackupPrivilege, which allows you to copy any file onto the system. And from that, we're able to copy the SAM and the system sensitive files back to our local machine, and we can extract the administrator hash from those. So enough yapping, and let's get straight into this box. So I made a directory in the my HackTheBox folder called Cicada, and we're going to start with an Nmap scan, nmap-sc for scripts, sv for versions 10.10, 11.35, and I like to output it into the nmap.txt format. This could take a little bit to run, so I already ran it, and this is what we have. So by the ports open, we know already it's just going to be Active Directory. We have SMB, we have Kerberos, the DNS open. So this is just telltale signs, LDAP as well. Telltale signs that this is going to be an Active Directory box. And another thing I like to do is once we see like the domain controller here with the DNS, I like to add this to etc hosts. So sudo nano etc hosts, to our password. And you can already see on this line, I already did this. So we put our IP and then cicada.htb with the domain controller and all that fun stuff. That'll just make it easier in the future to run commands. Instead of having to remember the IP, we can just remember cicada.htb. So moving on, we don't have any access to this box initially. A lot of the times with Active Directory, you're going to see you'll get a user account or you'll get some form of credentials that you can use to log in and enumerate that way. But we don't have any of that. So we're going to have to go completely from scratch. And one thing that I really like to do is use netexec. And netexec is just a network execution tool, but it's primarily for Active Directory enumeration and exploitation. And see, it supports all of these protocols, including SMB, LDAP, and WinRM. So with that being said, we can do nxc, which is short for netexec, SMB, then our IP, we can just put cicada.htb, and then we have our user flag, our password flag, and then what we want. My gosh, I can't type. Our user flag, password flag, and then here we have a bunch of different options at the end. So if I just do this, it will try to, oh, I cut that off. This will try to authenticate us, and this is called null authentication. So you're not putting anything in username nor password, and it will try to authenticate you. If you try to do this with something that doesn't exist, like a password that doesn't exist, we can notice that it still authenticates us as the guest user. So we know that we can authenticate to Cicada as the guest user on SMB. We can also try something like this for LDAP. And we see we authenticate, but we also get an error. So this error basically means we won't be able to perform any operations. So we won't be able to list out the users or do any type of additional enumeration past this. We can also try WinRM. And we see we cannot get a shell in the box yet. And so really we only have SMB open, which we can enumerate, which is fine. So we can change this to guest. Change the password back to this, and --share. So this will show us, WinRM, let's change that to SMB. This will show us the shares on the box. We saw that SMB was open, and we can authenticate. So let's connect to that share and list out, or not. NetBIOS timeout. Let's try again. There we go. I do not know what that error was. I think the box may have just been getting reset or something. Anywho, so here are the shares on our box. We see the admin share, the C drive, dev, HR, and then these three are default. And out of so the custom ones here are admin, C, dev, and HR. And we only have read permission with HR. So we can just go straight into SMBClient, and the syntax is this. So 4 backslashes, your IP, 2 slashes, and then the share that you're trying to read. So if we do this, since we are a guest user, it'll ask for a password. Just press enter here, and we will get into the SMB share. And we can run a quick ls and see that we have one file here, notice from hr.txt. And SMB is really nice. SMB client's nice where you can just do get and then the file name. It'll be hard. You have to put quotes around this to escape all the spaces when you use this, because I had trouble the first time doing that, trying to get just the file name, and it had trouble downloading. So make sure you run quotes around here. And it's like get the file. So basically what that means is we downloaded it to our machine. So we cat out notice from HR. We see, dear new hire, welcome to Cicada Corp. We're thrilled to have you join our team. As part of our security protocols, it's essential that you change your default password to something unique and secure. Okay, but they give us the default password. And then it gives you instructions to change the password, blah, 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 best regards, Cicada Corp. Okay, so we have a default password here. So let's echo this. That might be rough, actually. Oh, that's good. Echo this into a new file called passwords.txt. And so we have our passwords.txt file, but we don't have any users to spray this password with. So our next step is naturally to grab some users. So we can do the same thing, the same syntax, but instead of dash dash shares, let's do dash dash users. And see if we get any hits. And no, we don't. So the guest user does not have permission to list out all the other users on the box. However, there is a way to get around this. Instead of dash dash users, we can do the dash dash RID brute tag, which is going to brute force all of the RIDs for the users on the box. And as we can see, this works swimmingly, and we get the entire list of users on the box, including groups. So let's create a users.txt and paste this in there. And some fun syntax. I had trouble with this. I don't want to copy and paste all these different users, so you can use the cut command to sort of fan this out. So if we grep, we're going to grep the users only on users.txt, and then we're going to cut with a delimiter of this backslash here. We're going to cut this and take the second field, and let's see what that leaves us. Okay, so we need to cut again on the space in between the username and the group. So let's cut on the space, and we're going to take only the first field. And there we go. And then we can send this into clean users.txt. And cat clean users. Perfect. Now I'll just remove the other file. All right, so we have our users on the box here, and we also have a password. So something that's really cool about netexec is we can spray this user list. So we can just provide a file here. So we're going to enumerate through all of these users with the password of, what did I name it? Password.txt. And we're going to see if we get any hits. So it's going through all of these, and you'll see here. So it goes through all of the different usernames that we provided in our username list, spraying it with the same password. You can see we get a hit with Michael Wrightson. So I'm going to make a new file here and echo these credentials into creds.txt just to keep them all organized. And now since we have Michael, let's see what new permissions he has. So if you remembered, we tried LDAP and it didn't work. We tried WinRM and it didn't work. So let's try those again, but with Michael. Cicada.hdb-u Michael Wrightson and -p this password. And this is what I was talking about with all the different enumeration, seeing what we get when we try different services with different and elevated privileges. And we see here, we actually do get elevated privileges with LDAP. We can connect and we can execute commands. Let's also try SMB with the shares command and see if Michael has any new shares that we were unaware of. And we get read access to these bottom ones, but they're default and they don't really lead anywhere, so no need to worry about that for now. But let's go back to LDAP here. And LDAP, if we list out -- users, we're going to see if we get anything new. And this, in fact, we can list out the -- users, and we see here in the description that we're able to see the description for each object, for each user object. And we see, just conveniently put, David has put his password in the description of his user object, and we have a new path forward. So if we nano creds, here, let me make a new pane here. David Aurelius with, oh man, my whole formatting got messed up here. It's okay. I'll save that. Close this pane. Oh man. Zoom back in maybe? Alright, that was brutal. Nano creds.txt, and we have David's password. Alrighty, now we're going to do that same process again, but with David's password. So you kind of see the pattern here of what this box is going for. We're going for just repeated enumeration through netexec, seeing what each user has as we continue throughout the box. So Michael had LDAP permissions, and we could have used another tool for this. We don't have to use netexec. Like enum for Linux is a great tool. LDAP domain dump is a great tool, and you would have gotten the same information. I just like netexec because I think it's a little cleaner in my opinion. So I just decided to use netexec. But using LDAP domain, you would have gotten the same information just in a JSON format. Same thing with enum for Linux. And so we do connect with SMB, and let's check our shares. And if you notice, we do get a new share here. So we have read access on the dev share. Continuing on, we can just do the same thing as before, but instead of HR, we're going to do dev. And since we're not logging in as the guest user, we're going to have to provide the -u flag, which is just username. So David Aurelius. And then we just provide our password on the new line. And we are in. And we have _backup-script.ps1. So with the same process before, we're going to download that file. Then we can exit ls and cat this file out. And as we can see, we now move to another user, Emily Oscars, and the password here is just in plain text before being converted to a hash. So we can now add this to our creds file. We are flying through this box right now. Emily.oscars, and save that, close this pane. All right, cat creds, let's see where Emily takes us. So netexec SMB, Emily Oscars, and see if she has any extra shares for us. Okay, so she has 2 new shares. We can read the admin share, and we can also read and write on the C share. This makes me think that we have a shell as Emily. So if we change from SMB to WinRM, we will see if we have remote access in. And we see the pwn flag here. That means we have shell access as Emily. So we can do evil WinRM, -I RIP of 10.10.11.35, -u of Emily Oscars, and -p of our password. And we are in. So we are now the user Emily Oscars. And we can grab the user flag off of the desktop, which is right here. I don't think that should be in there. I don't think the box got reset in a while, but this is our user flag. So now where do we go from here? A lot of the times with Active Directory boxes, you will see the use of Bloodhound, which is a fantastic tool. I recently learned how to use Bloodhound to enumerate a bunch of different attack vectors and moving throughout an Active Directory network with Bloodhound. And it was a fantastic experience, and I highly recommend you to learn Bloodhound if you don't know it. And if you need to, feel free to comment and let me know if you want me to do a quick overview of Bloodhound in a future video. I think it's an incredibly valuable tool, and I'd be happy to make content on it if it's needed. But for this box in particular, we don't need Bloodhound. There are no connections that we need to make that we wouldn't be able to see on the command line. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is very similar on Linux when you do sudo-l. It's going to show you your privileged, what you can run as a privileged user on the box as your current user. So it's whoami-priv. And this is essentially the same thing as sudo-l. So it'll show you what you can do, a short description, and if it's enabled or not. We can see that Emily Oscars can run SeBackupPrivilege, SeRestorePrivilege, SeShutdown, change notify, and increase working set privilege. And the only thing that really sticks out to me here is this first one, SeBackupPrivilege. Description is backup files and directories. In Windows, there are some sensitive files and directories that we would love to make copies of to store on our local machine, on our Kali machine. And those are SAM and system. And these two files basically are hive registries that hold all of it's basically the keys at the castle, right? It's like the etc shadow file in Linux. So it'll hold your administrator hash, and once you grab that, it's basically game over. So to save these files and to make copies and to abuse this here privilege, we can use the regsave command. So we do regsave hklm SAM, and then we'll save that just as SAM. It says operation completed successfully. See here, SAM. And we're going to do the same thing with system. And operation completed successfully. So we see we have the SAM and the system file just here in our desktop. And I should have done this in a temporary file, but that's okay. And then we don't have to set up a fancy file share. Sometimes on Windows boxes, you will have to, or on Linux boxes, you'll have to transfer files between the attacking machine or the target machine and your local machine. Since we are in an evil WinRM session, we can just use the download functionality to download both these files, which is super nice. So SAM downloaded really quickly, but with system, it might take a little while to download. It's a really big file. So download these two files, go grab a coffee, go grab a little snack, and we will come back after these two files have downloaded. All right, welcome back. As we can see, our two files have successfully downloaded. So we can open a new pane here, or just completely exit out of this one. I'll zoom in here, and if we do a quick ls, we can see we have the SAM and the system file both on our local machine. And what we can do with these files is, like I said, they basically hold the keys to the kingdom. We can extract administrator hashes and hashes from every user on the box from these two files. And we can do that with a fun script called secretsdump.py. This is from, who makes this? Impacket. Impacket makes the secretsdump script, and Impacket has a ton of fantastic tools for Active Directory. I highly recommend, if you do Impacket dash, they have all of these great tools that can help with Active Directory. So I highly suggest looking into this if you're struggling with an Active Directory box. Look for the Impacket commands that can do it for you, because they're really good. And you see Impacket-Secretsdump is right here. So secretsdump.py, and then the syntax is really easy. Pretty sure it's just I'm pretty sure it's just dash SAM and then our SAM file, and dash system, our system file. That's it. Target, since we have the files downloaded on our local machine, we can just put local here, and there we go. We have our administrator hash, and that is pretty much game over now. You just take this hash, this is an NTLM hash. We only need the second half, the LM part. Take our hash, And then we use evil winrm again. 1135 -u administrator dash capital H notates that we're using a hash to log in, not a password. Click enter, and that is it. Do whoami dash priv, we can see we basically have every privilege. And we can go to desktop and see that we have root.txt here. So yeah, that is Cicada from HackTheBox. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this box it's pretty easy and it's pretty repetitive, but I think it's incredibly valuable. This is one of the first Active Directory boxes that I did completely on my own without any help. So this box holds a dear place in my heart, and I hope you guys find the same value and the same learning set that you did from the box that I did. If you have any questions or want me to dive deeper into anything here, please leave a comment below or message me on any of my socials. They'll all be in the description below, as well with all the tools that I use. So netexec will be below, the Impacket-Secretsdump script will be below, and yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I'm able to do more boxes and walkthroughs in the future. I really enjoy recording these videos, but I am a full-time student and I work as well. So I try to do all the boxes on my own on the side, but creating content is a whole nother beast. But I really enjoy it, and hopefully I can do it more. Yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy hacking.